And I wasn't surprised at all. I mean, I'm a Cancer as well. So like that kind of romantic has always been part of my life in my romantic relationships as well. And hearing in your video describing the archetype, oh my God, it was just so me, the easygoing, the abundance. I know at home used to say money comes and goes and there will be always more, so don't worry. And I still remember one thing that really spoke to my heart was secretly ignoring money problems and secretly wishing they would solve themselves. That something I was doing unconsciously, and it was just so spot on. Yeah, really all of it. It just made so much sense.
No, it kind of felt like, oh, that explains, like, you know, because I've been called, I'm sure most people can relate to this, I've been called spoiled and, you know, like those kind of things a lot. And, you know, when I was younger and that kind of thing. So it kind of like, it, when I first read it, I was a little like, oh no, you know, like it kind of, I saw it kind of like in a negative light. But then as I started to like look into it more, then I was like, oh, okay, I could, you know, that is me. And it kind of helped me like settle into that instead of trying to change that part of me and like expand upon it versus trying to get rid of it.
So yeah, when I found out I was romantic, I think I would have been absolutely floored if I wasn't romantic. So it just, everything just made sense. And even now when I'm doing my marketing, or, you know, I was trying to launch a product that I really did not want to do, did not like. But I kept having to go back going, just try and appeal to the romantics, because they won't want you to, you know, walk them through it all. They'll just go, yay, this is great. So yeah, so for me, it was kind of a no-brainer when I saw romantic. It definitely fitted more than everything else.
No, I was definitely not surprised to be a romantic. Give me velvet, give me satin, give me hand beaded, give me faux fur all day long. So that was actually one of my biggest challenges that I've been dealing with putting my line of stuff together is I don't want to have my pieces printed on basic cotton canvas, all stitched in white thread. I want on velvet with, you know, the right trim and the right stitching and everything. So that's, it's been a process to figure out how to do it one step at a time. But oh yeah, definitely romantic. Velvet satin bubble bath. Oh yeah.
Okay, so I wasn't surprised to get romantic at all, because my first thought went to how I love to fantasize and I love to have luxury environments and be comfortable. One part that was a little bit surprising was probably how I viewed what a romantic would be. And one of my first thoughts is I'm not really a girly girl. I'm not into clothing, handbags, makeup, that kind of luxury. But I'm into staying in luxury places, having a nice home, having a nice meal out, indulging in the finer things of life, and put my comfort up very high as a priority. And then fantasizing about what's going to happen for me in the future, maybe to the point where it distracts from setting goals that are a bit more actionable. And working on fluff tasks and feeling like, yeah, I'm working and I'm going to get there one day, but they're fluff tasks. They're not really important tasks that are going to move the needle in the business. And I was maybe hoping that Maverick would be up there kind of higher, because I feel that a bit.
I would say I'm very motivated by money first, and I have to convince myself that I also care about people. My clients wouldn't say that, but that's like my own self-perception, right? Like my clients are like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. But I feel it in my external, in my client work. And this is certainly true for everyone. They see me and receive me a very different way than my husband receives me. So like I can be a jerk over here, especially because he's an accumulator. And my clients were like, you're amazing. And you're so like, connected. So when I was listening to the connector, I'm thinking of it more so of divine connection. That's how it resonates with me. And that's what enables me to like slow down, stay grounded, and even have that moment of self-reflection to go like, one of my values is discipline, like simplicity, discipline and simplicity. Like, how can I live into that value? Because it's not what I wake up wanting to do each day. So just remembering like, how can I make things simple? And then like exercise that discipline and get the help that I need in the areas that aren't easy for me, such as saving money. So like, one of the ways I just did a mindset shift with that is, so my dog recently tore her ACL, and it was potentially going to be a surgery for like $5,000 or $6,000. And like in that very emotional moment, I realized that it's a luxury to have savings for my dog. And so that was like, oh, savings is luxurious. And now I've been able to shift into like, I'm going to hire somebody and make savings a priority so that I can afford any like emergency that could ever happen. And specifically, my animals are really important to me because I don't have my own children yet.
I relate so much to what Stacey just said. In terms of that's where I'm at in finding the fun again in my business and in trying to follow all those processes and stuff. It's just killed my vibe. And just now, actually, as I started surrendering and even letting go of the outcome and of the money goal and just doing it for the process and enjoying, things started coming. Like just a few days, I got invited to the roundtable, and then another invitation to webinar came in. I was like, oh my God, this is me. This is my life. Things come to me. Like it's happening again. And yeah, SMA definitely changed my life, and I'm changing my business model. And so when I, in the first live of SMA last year, when I joined, was just at the time I was finishing my beta version of a course that I was just launching. So I was, while my romantic was happy in having, a course out there and then running on passive and the passive income thing, then I realized, well, two things. My romantic wasn't happy, like the lifetime access model that my mentor was encouraging us was like, lifetime, what does that mean? I cannot commit for my lifetime. I love what I do, and it was weekly calls as well, and the weekly calls, even bi-monthly, I made them bi-monthly even for my beta, because weekly was just too much for my romantic, and even that bi-monthly was too much. But what I realized is that my other archetypes, nurturer and connector, weren't happy because people were not joining the call so much. They did the work, but I didn't get to be there with them. So, and then I started contracting for this company, doing one-on-one for corporate. And then I realized, oh my God, one-on-one, I love one-on-one. I just have to show up in there. I don't have to prepare for anything, no course to record, no funnels or so whatsoever. I just need to show up for the one-on-one, and then it's done. So I'm swapping definitely to one-on-one and high tickets one-on-one, because it just feels so aligned. My romantic is happy because I don't have to prepare anything. I'm keeping myself very mindful of not over promising to send things after the call. That's definitely thanks to SMA. I would always, like being a nurturer and connector, just overcommit, being in the energy in the moment to doing things after and sending things, and then just never bother and procrastinate for 2 weeks before doing it. So now I'm being mindful of that before I promise anything. And really, yeah, that's been really I think the main change in my business model, and just taking completely other turn, not excluding putting up a group coaching program at some point, but running completely passive, like more easily than that. And for now, I just cannot deal with another launch. Like I love it, just putting content out there as I feel it and having people come in, and yeah, no official launch with a deadline to have a certain number of clients with a deadline. That's putting me off now. I can't deal with that. I had a bad experience.
I think it's showing the same way as you were saying. I've also hired a VA, but I do, like, she has to chase me up a lot. And sometimes I'm just like, I feel guilt. I think sometimes I feel guilt that I've not done what I'm supposed to do, because then she can't do what she's supposed to do in that sense. But I've got this, I don't know, I think I live in like La La Land a little bit. So sometimes I kind of go into my dream, and when I go so far into the dream, I get so motivated that I do a lot of work. And then I get this phase where it's like, I wouldn't say it's burnout. It's not burnout, but it's like more of a phase like, well, you know, I'm okay now. So, and I just leave it go. And then I'm like, oops, the inspiration is back here. So yes, I'm a bit of like an upside down person. But I've learned to accept a little bit more of that and to go with the flow. So I'm not giving too much into the guilt no more, but I'm being a little bit more authentic. So I will say on social media, well, this is what happened this week. So you will hear from me, whatever. Or I tell people like, yeah, we need to reschedule, or, in much more in that sense, without feeling like I have to, because this is this. Yeah.
I sabotage with onboarding a VA. I've had several VAs. I'm not organized enough to like delegate. And I have one really good VA who allows me to be a hot mess and just like send a voice memo in the moment and be like, hey, could you do this today? But I'm scaling my business and I'm now creating a course, and I'm embracing, I need an actual system. But part of me wants to hire the person to do the system for me. So that's kind of where I'm at. And how am I overcoming it? I think the way I'm overcoming it is like bit by bit. So like right now I'm building the course, I'm outsourcing some tech stuff. And then I do think it's important for me like to take responsibility for my students, especially in the beginning, to understand, are they getting their emails? Are they getting everything? And then how does that flow? And then just doing one thing at a time and realizing like it doesn't need to all be done in a day, which is some of the sabotage. Like I want to jump ahead to $600,000 and I don't want to like build the program.
Sabotage is for me definitely procrastination. I mean, it's been a big problem and challenge, and it's really just getting my butt to sit at my chair at my desk and start doing something. And I think one big one is that I burnt out in my corporate job. So I resigned in December 2017, and I was like, okay, let's start a business. And I had taken the life coaching training prior to that. So that's where the resistance really started in me getting action. And I wonder as well if my romantic isn't that high because of the burnout, and that kind of brought it up. And just recently, actually, I realized how sad the burnout made me feel, that I let myself down, that I abandoned myself. And one thought that keeps happening in my head is that's the reason, like the only reason I'm doing all this, all the struggles of entrepreneurship is just so I can have the flexibility and do what I want to do. And take my time having breakfast in the morning. I would take at least 1 hour, like just waking up and having breakfast, and then coming, and then, oh, I want to go for a walk, and then come back, and then, oh, I need to shower. And then it's lunchtime, and then, okay, let's prepare lunch. And then before I know it, and then, oh, I needed a little nap. I cannot possibly work. I'm so tired. And then take a nap or lie down for a bit, and then it's 4 p.m. and I'm like, oh my God, it's 4 again. I didn't do anything. So when I say I didn't do anything, it's not like ruler who works for 7 hours and they didn't do anything. It's like literally I didn't sit at my desk. So that brought a lot of shame actually, and it's really took me a lot of time to start talking about it and hearing. I secretly thought until a few months ago that I was the only one who was dealing with procrastination as an entrepreneur. I really thought that.
I'd say for me, like the biggest thing is I just like kind of I don't want to be bothered. Like afraid to get like stuck in something. So like, it's like, oh, well, you know, I get clients, but what if I get stuck with them? Or what if like, you know, I have to spend like too much time and then I get bored, like, or, you know, even I think with like systems, like it all seems really complicated. And once something's complicated in my mind, then it's like, oh, never mind. I'm not even gonna mess with it. It's too complicated. And let's see, with teams, I haven't even thought of that a whole lot. With marketing, I really struggle with marketing a lot because it feels overwhelming because, you know, marketing feels like a long process to me. And, you know, people say, oh, people have to see your thing this many times and they have to do this. And then it's like, what if I can't keep up with that? And so if I get overwhelmed, then I think that is my biggest, like, sabotaging thing is I don't want to be stuck in anything. I don't like to feel imprisoned by anything. So like that, you know, SMA really helped me with that. Like, okay, well then just create your business differently. You don't have to do a year-long container or anything like that. And, you know, that really helps. So I think that's my biggest sabotage. And also being willing to invest in things, but not myself. So I'm like myself, like courses and things like that, but not like teams and systems and things that, you know, would actually make the business grow and be more profitable. That feels overwhelming. So I don't invest in that, but like doing emotional work or like, those are all like beautification things for me. So it feels like, you know, to make my environment, my energy better, then I'm happy to invest in that versus like seeing that like having systems and teams would actually make my business more efficient and that kind of thing. So I think that's probably my two biggest sabotages that I can think of.
You had asked about pricing before SMA and bootcamp. No, I was not charging anywhere near enough. I actually was showing a good friend of mine who is an interior designer also, showing her some of my art, and she was telling me how much she loved it when I was just barely starting. And I asked her, well, how much do you think I should charge for this one? How much do you think I should charge for that? And she's telling me certain prices, and I'm getting all excited, like, oh, you really think I could get that much for it? And then after taking SMA and bootcamp, I started doing the math. It's like, oh, no. And now anytime, I shouldn't say this, but so many times when she or someone else says, oh, I'm surprised how much that cost, I go in and I up the price. I'm like, oh, no, you didn't. I spent so much time on that. You're not going to tell me it's not worth that. And in terms of sabotages, always looking for, wanting to simplify my business and make things easier and find people to help me, you know, reproduce some of my designs so that not everything is one of a kind, because I can be a slow creator. I'm particular. I want what I want. So wanting to do some reproductions, but it's got to be good quality. You know, I spent all this time working at like MGM Design Group and other interior design firms in town. And once you see those materials that you can't buy in a regular store, your romantic just goes crazy. It's like, you wouldn't believe the stuff that is out there that you can't just go get at a regular store. So I got a little spoiled with that. And so when people would say, oh, you should do, you know, this print on demand site and do this and do that, I'm like, nope, not good enough quality, not good enough quality. And I would get stuck, and I kind of froze for a while because I wanted to put this whole line together. And I'm very ADHD too, literally diagnosed ADHD. And so I see everything all at the same time. ADHD, it's now and not now. So I see this whole huge vision, and I want to wave my magic wand, and it's all in my head. you know, it's all there. I can see it. Why is it not in reality? So I've had to say, okay, can I get one of the type of products done the way that I want? And then can I move on to the next one rather than what everyone was telling me to do, which was do all of it like lower quality. I just, not going to happen. So that's taken me a lot longer. But I've also realized that that taken care of, needing to be taken care of thing with the romantic, like liking to be, you know, cared for. I have no interest in like outsourcing to China or anything like that. Like it doesn't interest me. I want the local small business that I can go and see their quality and get to know the people. And if there's an issue, I can drive down the street and say, you know, hey, can we work on this? Like, I'm not going to be stuck on the phone with customer service, one of a bazillion people. I can walk in the door and say, you know, hey, Jeff, let's talk about this project. And that's something that's really important to me, that being taken care of.
Yeah, big time sabotages. I think growing up, I never really wanted to work. I hoped that it'd just all work out and I'd be taken care of and do the least amount of work possible. And so I will find myself dreaming about making big money and resisting the work to get there, just resisting work, procrastinating a lot, and making just enough to be comfortable, and then stopping working until it's running out, and then panicking and starting working again and doing it at the last minute. That's probably the biggest way that I sabotage in my business and in life. And when that's happening and things are getting urgent and I'm running out of money, I don't want to look at it. I don't want to deal with it. And I just resist it and protest it and just want everything to just work out. And just tell myself everything always does work out. You always have enough, but never getting into that state of having more than enough and having a decent buffer and saving. I'm trying to think what else. Definitely some flamboyant spending. And if I do make a lot of money one month, my husband will even say to me, oh, you're looking for ways to get rid of it? You're looking for ways to spend it straight away? And returning to that point of just having enough and, oh shit, what am I going to do now? I have to make more money. Around clients, system, team, marketing, launching, definitely procrastination, not wanting to deal with the hard parts. And connector is my lowest, and I'm an introvert, so I resist calling clients back and anything to do with getting all together and talking with real life people. And systems, I always have these lists of ideas for systems I want to put into place, and then resist putting them into place and just wishing we could skip to the end, skip to the good part where it's paying off. Team, probably some resistance there around the social aspect as well. I do have a virtual assistant, which has been a big help. And I just palm off as much as I can to him. And launching, it's a little bit like flying by the seat of my pants rather than having it planned out ahead of time properly.
I think I didn't know anything about SMA. I think it's when I joined boot camp, and I'd wanted to join boot camp for a while. And I think I was just waiting for the Aussie deal where, you know, it was in Aussie dollars. And then we got everything else. We got the advanced manifesting course, and we got SMA. And that was the first time I'd really looked at it. And I kind of knew straight away, having a look at them, I was like, I know that I'm a romantic, but it was kind of, I suppose, just, it really, really helped me. I think it just, it helped put everything into place. And I'm normally one where I'll take a bit of something from here and a bit of something from there, but it just sort of encapsulated everything about me. And that's where I felt like that's actually given me permission to be myself. Because I think my whole career, I have just tried to fit into other people's boxes. Like I wanted to do interior design at university. And everyone said, no, you have to do a business degree. You have to go and do something where you're going to make a lot of money. So I did IT and then I actually changed to psychology. But, you know, I felt like I'd wasted so many years because I hadn't actually done what I wanted to do and what suited me. And then, you know, when I was looking at that, I was like, I can do what I want to do. I can do what suits me in a way that it suits me. And it was that permission thing. I think it's like I always need someone or something to give me permission to be myself and do what I want to do. And that was literally me summed up in one profile. I was like, perfect, that's brilliant.